What's up, you guys? Phil's Front here, and today we've got a new project, something a little bit different. And here it is. This is, I'm not sure of the year, but it's a Motovox MBX 10. This guy originally started life as around an 80cc motor, and if you look closely at the engine plate, you can see where the original engine was mounted in these slotted parts. Somebody has definitely repowered it at some point with something. My assumption would be a Predator motor, but it has the throttle cable, the wiring, and even the rear brakes still work. I picked this frame up for I think $100 or $150. I don't know, it's been a while, but it's 100% complete, just needs a repower. The chain is like almost brand new. The only thing wrong with it is the brake pads are a little split. So the reason I bought this mini bike is we've got this motor here. It's a 4.5 horsepower Subaru engine. Had this thing for years. It came off a plate compactor at work. We thought it was blown. I pulled it apart and realized the only thing wrong with it is a rock got stuck in the blower housing that stopped the engine from turning. So this engine's been really good. My son Alex, if you could start this thing up for me right now. I'll go ahead and turn it on, throw the choke on, and give her a tug. Completely stock, still got the governor. As you can see, it's incredibly quiet. Like, we can have a conversation with this thing running and it's really not that bad. It's a small motor. These Subarus make a lot of power on very small displacement, so I'm pretty excited to put this thing on the mini bike. So the plan for today is just to get the motor mounted. I bought a brand new clutch. I've got a new set of brake pads for this thing. Actually, two sets of brake pads, because it was actually cheaper to buy two than one, which is crazy. Because the brake pads on this thing, they work great, but one of them is cracked in half, so I just bought some new ones. They were like 10 bucks. So here are the only two parts that we really need to get this project going, besides, you know, a set of bolts to bolt the engine down. This would be a 12-tooth clutch for a 3/4 inch shaft engine. I bought this sucker on Amazon. It probably wasn't more than 20-30 bucks. I didn't buy the cheapest one, but I also didn't buy the most expensive one because it's just a mini bike and it's geared really low. Like I said, this thing was originally like an 80 or 90cc, so it's a really heavy-duty clutch. I think I'm going to mount it inwards, so this will be on the outside just to keep the engine more in line with the frame, and my 2-pack of brake pads, which feels incredibly light. It's almost like there's just a candy bar in there. So now that the shaft is all clean, I'm anti-seizing all over it just to make sure if I want to remove this thing in the future, there are no issues or surprises trying to get this thing off. I'm also going to go ahead and do the inside of the clutch, because why not? So with the set screws backed out, I'm just going to slide this sucker on. We're going inverse mounted, just so we can get the chain closer to the engine. These set screws, screw those in. So we got the engine in place, and what I just did is I took this straight edge. This is a square, a carpenter square, and I lined it up on the back sprocket, and I made sure the engine was square with the rear sprocket, and made sure the sprocket was aligned or indexed with the rear sprocket, so everything will be good as far as chain alignment. And then, since I didn't trust the previous owner's holes, I took this, which is just a bent nail, and I put it in these holes, and I scratch around, you know, a bunch of times in each one of the 4 holes to make sure I've basically marked them. And that should leave me, you can see I got the chain pulled off there. It should leave me the 4 holes being marked. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're not very good, but it's enough that I can drill 4 holes. So we got 4 new holes drilled. I got some bolts set down into place. The engine is not bolted in, but it's, you know, she's kind of there. I gotta, you know, obviously perfectly align it with the chain once we go to bolt it down, but right now the name of the game is to make sure this chain is the right length. And I think what I've got here with the adjuster all the way forward, if I knock this last link out right here, I think the chain will be the perfect length for the master link. I might have to slide the engine back just slightly to make it, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I've got my chain braking tool right here, which is nothing more than like essentially a small spring-loaded vise with a pin that drives through. So what we'll do is, it's easier to go from this side, we're going to take off just this last link well, technically 2 links, but you know, there's an over and under link. So we're going to grab it, this guy, and the pin will push the other pin right out. Probably have to do this on both sides just to get it freed up. The second one. So drop that sucker out of there. And theoretically, if I drill these holes correctly and this chain tensioner is going to cooperate, this chain should be about perfect for this master link. Which will come in from the back. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So I square this engine up, it should be okay. I like to have these master links facing the opposite direction, the mouth end facing opposite the direction of travel, just because if you don't, you run the risk of it getting popped off running the other way. There. So now we bolt this motor down. You can see there's still a little bit of slack there. We can get that out of there with this tensioner and stuff. We'll get the motor bolted down. I got to get new bolts for the motor, so I have to go to the hardware store for those. We'll get that tightened down, and then we'll tighten this chain tensioner, and that should be all set. So I got her flipped around here. Next thing up on the menu is throttle. And like I said, this thing came basically as a rolling, ready to go chassis. It just needed a repower, so it's already got the kill switch ready to go. The twist throttle's ready to go. All the lines are good, brake line, all that stuff. Everything is in perfect working condition. The brake caliper is pretty mint. Like I said, I need to replace the pads. The disc is all good. But for the throttle, I did put on one of these aluminum, what I think they're called brake noodles. You buy them from mountain bikes. It makes a hard ride angle. You can buy them, you know, in different angles. They have like a nylon sleeve on the inside, so they slide you know, in and out very nice. But because of the hard angle that's going into this engine, I kind of need something that's going to accomplish that hard angle in there without, you know, interfering with other things. I might need to kind of redo this zip tie, cut the zip tie, redo some cords and stuff like that, just to make sure that we're good. But it should be really easy to hook this throttle up. I got the clamp right there, and then back in here, this guy is where the actual wire will go through, and you screw the screw down in, and the throttle will be done. Probably taking about 3 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And then after that, I've got to figure out a way to, I'm probably going to have to extend these wires at least slightly or undo this zip tie for the kill switch. So I've got the throttle kind of hooked up there. Use the noodle, like I said. I did end up removing the very end of the noodle just so I could get it bolted into this clamp a little bit easier. So I removed this piece with a pair of pliers. It was a little difficult, but it came off no problem. The problem I am having currently is, you know, the twist throttle obviously is hooked up to the throttle on the engine, but as you can see, it's not going back to zero. You rev it up, let it go, it doesn't come all the way back. So that's a problem. That means this thing is never going to idle down properly on its own. So the throttle I got figured out. All I ended up actually doing was oiling that pivot point right here, where it slides back and forth, and everything is fine now. It's right back to zero, which is perfect, so I didn't have to add any springs or anything, which I like. I went ahead and did the electrical for this kill switch up here that's running, that's off. All I did for that was interrupt the existing kill switch, which is basically just a grounded switch that grounds the coil. I took one end of the plug that came from the mini bike into where the switch plugs in, which is, you know, this wire used to plug in where this pink wire is. It's very light pink because it's sun bleached. And I took the other end of the wire and just grounded it to the blower housing. So now, if I can do this on camera, let's make sure it's on run. I'm just gonna put my foot on here so it doesn't shake. Mind you, the engine is not bolted down. You can see the throttle works and the kill switch works. So besides 4 bolts and a few zip ties to, because I disconnected all these wires, all these cables, just so I had space to work. This thing is essentially ready to go. I am going to replace the brake pads, but I got to go to the store, get some bolts, bolt this engine down, and we'll see what she'll do. Alright, so we've got the motor mounted now. I went to the hardware store, got 4 bolts, bolted it down. You can see I built like a chain guard here, which ironically, I used to have a hot tub, so actually a soft tub, and this was a filter housing for it. You can see this one's pretty gross, but I essentially modified one of these. I bolted this back plate on to the motor and then stuck this on top, a couple set screws, and we're good to go. No worries about the chain taking your shoelaces or anything like that. So I'm not gonna lie, we've definitely driven this thing a couple of times already. It seems to be really good to go. It's super solid. But yeah, I'll show you guys how it goes. It's awesome, it's fun. I'm sorry about the wind noise that you're probably hearing right now, but this thing's a blast. Again, super motor, super quiet. I can't believe this thing. Really easy to drive. Alex, can you hook me up with that thing? Thanks, buddy. Safety third. So as you can see, this thing is ridiculously fun. I have so much fun with it. It cost me almost nothing to build. I recommend, if you have a chance to build a mini bike, build a mini bike. And mind you, it wasn't much of a build. Putting an engine on a chassis, driving it, it is what it is. Here you go, Alex. Well, how much do you love it, dude?
I love it so much.
So there it is, you guys. Very simple, very easy, very quick build. He's having fun, that's what's important. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see me do anything else with this. I really don't think I want to soup it up too much, because as it stands, this thing does like 30 miles an hour. Maybe I'll do a top speed run on this thing, just to see how fast it goes. But other than that, I mean, I don't really see much of a need to do anything else to this thing. It's good the way it is, right? What do you think?
I think it's awesome.
Nice, dude. So thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully you guys stay tuned and keep an eye out for the next video.